in Travis, Tennessee, back in October 2012. We could get it. Exciting Grand Prix, and the tank grandstands are once again creating an incredible atmosphere. The track has been cleaned up. There have been some drivers struggling to trip. really special event here today, and it's all thanks to the hard work and dedication of the race organizers, as well as all the staff here at the Circuit of the Americas. Of course, we wouldn't be here without the help of the market, volunteers who have come together from all over the world to make our racing possible. This opened here in Brampton back in October 2012. This circuit has had its fair share of exciting Grand Prix, and the next grandstand is drift. It will be interesting to see if we can more of that today. Special Avengers and all hard-working dedication to the race organization. Chairman of COTA here in Austin recently expressed his delighted circuit performance since it began the holding the United States Grand Prix. There have been some drivers struggling to drift. It will delighted with circuit performance since it began its tenure holding the United States Grand Prix. This success has been recognized by the great state of Texas.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen across the world. Welcome to the SynergyPWR People's World Racing Invitational round number 17 out of 20 for this United States Grand Prix. 13 runners here today with us. One person actually leaving before the session, but he is under investigation for a poor internet connection, as you may or may not have seen it during the practice. But we are beginning with Q1. With only 13 runners, like I said, it means all the drivers are eligible to skip this qualifying session and just get on with Q2. As you see, bottom 3 would be taken out of Q2, and the top 10 will go through to Q3. So good evening all around to all our viewers across the world tuning in to the SynergyPWR round number 17 race for Division 2. Looking forward to this one actually. Some exciting prospects happening across the whole of the division. Take a look at the table. And it's looking pretty close, actually, at the moment, with Mike David currently still at the top with 146 points. But after crashing out in the last race against Owen, better know, in the Red Bull in Japan, he currently is only 20 points ahead of Purple Haze, the old teammate who was in Mercedes, alongside her teammate Adrian in third on 123. So really close at the moment, only 20 points separating the top. Another DNF for Mike and a win for Purple Haze could see her take the top step in the championship. So going to be mighty close here at the USA. So just waiting on the rest of the field to retire. And then we'll obviously get on with Q2. So let us know if you're a keen viewer. I've been watching SynergyPWR for the last few months. We started down in March, now we're developed into a two-tier league with nearly 40 drivers across the whole of the division. So fantastic growth at Synergy. And naturally we're going to be seeing some amazing battles all the way across the board. Woodscope just commented in there, wishing you all an amazing race. Sure it will be. I am very sure it will be. Got to keep our fingers crossed that we're going to be able to have a cracking race. Woods, obviously our commentator for Division 1. Can't wait to have you on board tomorrow for the Division 1 race. Same time as always, 7:45 practice, 8:30 qualifying. Going to be interesting to see. Talking to the commentators, I'm on my own today, sadly guys. You're going to have to put up with me and my lonely old voice, with the regular commentators currently unavailable. So just waiting on the final two cars to retire. Master 20025 to retire. And II Purple Haze to retire her car as well. And there we go. So we'll get through to Q number 2. I'll be right back after these 20 seconds. And we're back for this Q2 session. Unfortunately, the Master disconnecting from the session means he is out of the qualifying. So if he does come back, he will be starting from the back of the grid. Bottom 2 will be the people out, so everyone got to be within 110% of the fastest lap. See, the first people are going to be out. Let us know who you think your pole position holder is going to be. Just leave a comment in the section below. Scott commenting, don't crash into anyone in Q3 tomorrow. I'll try not to. I don't know what I was doing, but the stewards rightfully justifying that I was deserving of a 20-second penalty after the incident with ITFNI Mulan at Japan. Yeah, not going to lie, I don't know what I was doing, but bit silly, but never mind. We move on. No surprise, everyone heading out onto Ultra Softs. Might see the occasional super soft runner, but we will follow Slicer 500 in the Red Bull. Now, he's been showing some relatively good pace around SynergyPWR People's World Racing. The Red Bull driver at the moment, currently in 10th place in the table, 16 points in total. Didn't start the season though, unlike his brother Adrian the 8th, currently still in the pits at the moment. So it's going to be interesting to see how that obviously develops over time. Woodscorps, again, the commentator for Division 1. Mike David on pole. It's quite possible, quite possible. I think he's obviously going to be looking for some real competitiveness, you know, because after the incident that happened at Japan, naturally he's going to be a little bit on the iffy side and wanting to get back with some real pace here at the USA, but I fear that his lack of practice may cause him a few issues, you know, because I haven't seen him on practice a lot. I've seen him on time trial, but only today, so I don't know if he's been hidden offline, but he hasn't actually been racing and practicing that much around this track, unlike the old co-compatcher that is Purple Haze. She has been practicing relentlessly around this track and has been showing some real alongside Adrian the 8th and in fact Sphere Cookie. So I'd put my money more chance on Sphere Cookie, Purple Haze or Adrian. But watch this space, I'm very sure it's going to be extremely competitive all around the field. Still following the number 23 Red Bull, Slicer 500. Goes through the set of S's. Wonderfully taken. Been a repetitive problem for a lot of these drivers, this set of S's. A lot of people complaining about the set of S's actually always losing either the back end or is cutting the corner, invalidating the lap time, and looks like Slicer doing a very good job actually, heads into the hairpin whip. I know a lot of people lose the majority of their time, but he gets away quite cleanly. As he comes through obviously on the main straight, DRS wide open. Going to be interested on your opinions for the race as well. Let us know who you feel that your race winner is going to be at the end of qualifying, because I think you're going to be seeing some extremely good competitiveness, especially around the Toro Rosso end of Sphere Cookie. But we are following Slicer 500, the Red Bull driver at the moment. See where he places. How-to video. For people who don't know it, there was an expert video uploaded by myself which showed me just cut many corners, calling them optional, but definitely not all a joke, as he comes across Slicer 500 across the line and sets the provisional pole on 136.8. So not entirely competitive at the moment from Slicer, but we'll have to see if that's definitely going to be the breakaway time as Sphere Cookie gets in there with an extremely competitive time of 34.6. Majority of the drivers going on to ultra soft, so potential for a one stop if they come in around about lap 9 onto a set of soft, so we'll have to see what happens. Good evening to the 9 viewers tuned in today. Ryan Wootton slipping in there with a 36.5, relatively new driver here at SynergyPWR, driving alongside Becky Boo in the Ferrari. Great team lineup at Ferrari. Wayne Bettino sneaks in there with a 35.5, another Red Bull driver sneaking in third, only for Adrian to pick the post, and there it is, 34.637, and looking relatively competitive actually for pole position at the moment. Only 0.04 of a second separating the two. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens over time. The person to look at the moment is Purple Haze, 137 set, but that was an invalidated lap, so clearly the set of S's may be a bit of a problem with her. We'll stay on board with her as she comes through Sector 1 now. Notoriously difficult. I think in my experience, a low front wing and a high rear wing has been the best way for it, but she's in 7th gear, she holds it, let's go, and a little bit wide, but she holds it. And the most difficult part coming up actually, got to get really hug this apex, which she has not done so, and maybe lose a bit of time. That rear end really slippy actually, so she's obviously looking for more pace around Sector 2, especially around this DRS straight. It'll be interesting to see. Interesting to see as the DRS wide open where she's going to place. Looking like 30, sort of low 35s. Don't know what you think, guys. Lower 35s for the sort of breakaway point, maybe for P11 and P10. As Diverse Jamie, the Force India, is now coming out on a fast lap, or an out lap rather. Still following The Mercedes of Purple Haze, though, was looking to absolutely dominate this race and take even more points off the current league leader, that is Mike David. McLaren ahead also on a fast lap as well. Not too sure if that was a valid lap time. That might be as well as she dives into the pits. I think she's invalidated that lap. See Proofham, the guy in front, does set a lap time of 36.4. See there, Slicer's lap time at the moment's falling and dwindling, 36.8, not looking really competitive. We are following Mike David at the moment. Now this is the league leader. Can't say it's not deserved at the moment because he has had a relatively good start. He came in actually at Monaco, as that Ferrari in the back went a little bit wide. He did come back at Monaco just before we decided to split the divisions, and shown some real fine form in Division 2 since we split in Malaysia. Takes a left-hander, followed by this nice little right-hander as Red Bull's off the track to leave him space. Yeah, well taken there as he comes through here. Notorious corner here. Actually a glitch corner as well. You spin the car here, you get instantly disqualified. So the driver's wanting to keep us close to as much speed and as much grip as possible. One of my favourite tracks, actually, the Circuit of the Americas, was actually notoriously difficult back at the start of my esports career, but I've got used to it now. Cracking little track. As is Mike David, he's going to come across the line and he is going to be placing P3 at the moment with a 35.3. He's safely through to Q3, but not as pacey as Adrian Sviacookie. You have to rethink who you think your pole position runner may be. Woods, unless he's sandbagging. There's another driver we haven't seen, actually, Diverse Jamie. Now, obviously, a bit of a situation last week meant that he couldn't race. Did attend qualifying, but due to missing out on the race, he ended up missing out. But never mind, he is coming round onto the RS straight. Be interested to see how the BWT Force India, who unfortunately went into administration last week. Real shame, could be seeing the end of Force India. Actually, we're into the obviously the mid-season break in the real-life Formula 1 season. We may just end up seeing Force India have a change of name. Rumour has it it's going to be the energy drink supplier Rich Energy, taking a big chunk of the ownership of Force India. Very wide corner actually coming through there, beautifully taken. Not too sure if he went a bit wide there, I'll have to see. His right-hander. See a bit of understeer on this, obviously he's looking for more grip rather than speed. It's all about the acceleration for Davis Jeremy, but will it work? He comes across the line. Still within the track boundaries, but it will be a 37.4. He's really low down on that lap time. 5.5 minutes to go for Diverse Jamie to try and get himself out of the bottom two. As is this girl right here, Purple Haze, looking to obviously take points off Mike David today and has a real opportunity to show her pace and dominance in Q2. 1:35.3 is the current time. Extremely competitive as he comes around the left-hander, nicely taken. Comes through the left-hander and then obviously going to be coming across the finishing line, and she will set a lap time of a nil point because that was an outlap, or in fact it may have been an outlap, not too sure, but it's a 37.3 what she set. So we'll have to see, but she's obviously got a bit of time left to get a quality lap in. It might not even need to be quality, it might just be a lap, just to get her into Q3. We'll have to see what happens. Purple Ace. See the really tricky hairpin, you lose a lot of time through here, especially if you've got your traction control on, but she's away. Mercedes runner. Was McLaren a couple of races ago, but now racing for Mercedes alongside Adrian. She'll brake hardly at the 100 metre board. dropping in right-hander. Nicely done. And then taking that left-hander again, well taken. Ooh, rear end stepping out a little bit, hopefully won't have cost her too much time. Three and a half minutes to go as she goes off track. Is that an invalidated lap? Is that an invalidated lap? We'll have to see, but she's going to be crossing the line. She does a 1:34.5, but it was invalidated. A 34.5 would have put her on pole position. So she's showing some real pace here, so she's going to have to rethink now. Am I just going to have to set a lap? Because at the moment, she's struggling to set one. We are expecting light rain conditions, actually, so no surprise that the runners have decided to go onto ultra-soft tyres, because intermediate tyres will be used on the track, so it's all about getting the fastest laps possible. Obviously, all the Q3 runners will have the opportunity to use another set of ultra-soft tyres, so nothing to fear for if they do decide to use all their ultra-softs in this run. But it is still Purple Haze expecting to set a lap with 2.5 minutes to go. She will have another go at potentially setting another lap if she does mess up here, but the question is, does she have enough fuel? It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but she's on the DRS straight. DRS not open. Deciding not to use a DRS, which is a bit of an unusual call, unless it's a DRS full. But if she comes into the pits, for sure she's not going to be able to set another lap time. So hopefully she's going to be able to set one. Number 10 Mercedes going drastically wide, but taken very well. She takes the right-hander, then obviously this big left-hander. Before this next left-hander. She's going to cross the line. It's a 36.6, but she's still invalidated it. She's not able to set a lap at the moment. She's going to be struggling out there. She desperately needs to set a lap time, and she needs to set one now. This is probably her last chance to be able to set a lap. So let's hope she's able to do it. But she goes across there. The nice set of S's there. And I think she's invalidated it there as well, you know. I think that's it. Unless that was... Yeah, I don't think she's going for the fast lap, you know. I think that might just be it. We'll have to see what happens, but I think she may have just invalidated the lap going through those S's. And I don't think she's going to have enough time to get around the track again. We'll have to see, but we'll go around the rest of the field at the moment. We've got a Sphia Cookie at the moment and the Toro Rosso, and obviously looking for dominance against Adrian, put him under the bridge. He's currently only about 4,400, second of a lap slower than Adrian. So he's obviously got some extreme pace. Adrian, actually, the old Toro Rosso driver, so they were both showing extreme pace through there, and I think he might have just invalidated his lap again on the S's. It's another casualty of the S's. We'll follow Mini Carrot also through the S's at the moment. Another casualty. We're going a little bit oversteer it. But nicely taken through that corner there, and obviously heading the right and then the left-hander. Turn number 9. And a little kink of 10 before heading on to the hairpin of 11. See if Purple Haze is able to get to the end. She just has, you know. She just managed to sneak in last 2 seconds. This is a last chance saloon for Purple Haze. Will she be able to get in? So we'll just keep a firm eye on that one, but we'll watch the rest of the laps. As Sphia Cookie is not able to set a lap, but one person is Mini Carrot. He was new to the league last week. Showed some real performance, actually, some real quality driving, and some real racecraft, actually, from the Williams driver. But he is looking to take as many points as possible throughout the rest of this Invitational season. But at this rate, he will be through to Q3, which would be a very good run and a bit of optimism for the Williams driver, so we'll have to see. Through the final set of corners. It's turn 19 before heading into the last corner of turn 20. He crosses the line and improves 1:35.3. Not a bad lap time from him. Cracking work, actually. Still waiting on a few others at the moment. Ryan Wotton is the next driver, losing that rear end but captures it very well. Can't improve on his lap time though, 36.6, and I think that final corner may have just cost him that improvement. So the question is, Slicer 500 is the last person to set a lap time before Purple Haze. Slicer really needs to improve, because if that lap is improved by Slicer. Ryan Wotton is on the danger zone, and then it's Stormlock down to Purple Haze to see if she invalidates her lap or is indeed fast enough on those really worn Ultra Softs. It will be Purple Haze straight after Slicer. Will Slicer improve his time? He does, but Ryan Wotton could be out. And I think that might be it, you know. And Purple Haze has managed to sneak in with 3rd place. 2 seconds to spare. She's in. Ryan Wotton is out. Really unlucky. It's Diverse Jamie at the bottom with a 37.4, and Scuderia Ferrari of Ryan Wotton didn't manage to get in, only losing out by 0.03 of a second as well. Really unfortunate for the Ferrari. Slicer managing to sneak in really last minute, as does Purple Haze, who manages to do what looked like a really well 34.7 on extremely worn ultra soft tyres as well. So don't discredit Mike David though either. He is on 35.3s, but could just be limiting his pace. Q3 coming up. And we're through to Q3 to 10. That was a great intro, well done me. And we're through to Q3. We've got the 10 drivers left here. Unfortunate for Ryan Wotton and Diverse Jamie, who got knocked out of Q2, so we're down to our top 10 drivers. Heatproof Ham, Owen Better Know, Becky Boo 1999 getting through to another Q3. Should be looking forward to this one. Mike David, feeling optimistic. Hopefully he'll be able to get up into the top 2. Mini Carrot obviously looking for his first top 5 performance since he started with Synergy. Sphere Cookie also looking for a good performance, hopefully for pole position. Slicer 500 also looking for a great performance alongside brother Adrian, and teammate Purple Haze doing a cracking job getting through to Q3 at the very last second. Only 2 seconds left to set a lap time, and she does it with Trickster X. Failed to mention him. He's brand new to the league, taking the vacant Sauber seat and getting through to his first Q3. So, cracking job from Trickster, who just so happens to be the brother to Heatproof Ham. Families all around, so we're looking forward to this one. We're on board with Owen Better Know, the Red Bull driver. Cracking job from him to get through to his next Q3 session in Division 2. Number 95 Red Bull driver, showing some real pace actually, and doing a cracking job on the warming up of those tyres through the set of S's. So surprisingly enough, it will be the brother and sister team. As we're talking about families, it'll be the brother and sister team. We're going to be the first to set their lap times in the form of the Red Bull and the Toro Rossos. First to set their laps. So, like I said guys, obviously I'll keep a firm eye out on the messages that you send out. So if you've got any messages at all for Synergy, if you've got any messages of support, if you want to know, well, if you want to let me know what you feel of the race, and let me know what you think of who's going to be your pole position runner, just type it in the comments and I'll be sure to shout you out and converse with you guys. The first person to set a lap will be Slicer Cookie. We'll get the lap data on for you guys. He's currently obviously on his out lap at the moment. Naturally, all the drivers will be running on ultra soft tyres, there's no doubt about that one. So we'll see what happens. So you're Cookie going to be the first to set a lap at the moment. We'll see how he does through turn 19 into turn 20. Floors it, and here we go. We start Q3F with a bang. Sphere Cookie obviously going to be the first to set a lap time, being extremely competitive actually throughout the whole of this session. I was with a bunch of these Division 2 drivers and Division 1 drivers in a practice session earlier this week, and we had a bit of a mixture of light rain and dry conditions, which is really good for practice, but really horrible for the people that have got dry setups on. And shows people showing some real pace actually. I'm Division 1 driver, Sphere Cookie was keeping up with me quite well, and I think he's abandoned this lap, so it will be Slicer 500 to set the first lap. Yep, I was with a few of these drivers earlier in the session. I had Purple Haze, I think there was a few others as well, Mini Carrots, and also one notable missee in the form of Goods1234 has unfortunately been banned from this USA session for accumulating enough penalty points on his super license to do so. So he'll be back with us next week in Mexico. And that's then, and this is now, and this is Slicer 500 coming through turn 19 at a rapid little bit of pace, actually, keeping it nicely on the session. Rewind commenting, Purple, well done on the last lap. It was a really, really good last lap, but Slicer 500 will set the initial lap time of a 39.3, which I think he may have made a few mistakes on, because lap times will be extremely competitive around here, and that will be beaten, I think, by Owen Better Know, the next driver, I think, to cross the line, unless he's let anyone through. That might not do, he's warming his tyres up, so he's abandoned his lap as well. So I'll have to see who's the next person that's going to be let through here. It's not going to be Sphere Cookie either, because I'm pretty sure he abandoned his lap. So, rear end stepping out a little bit there for Purple Haze. Both Mercedes actually looking like they've got a bit of a team effort here. Maybe second and third in the championship, but they are helping each other out with just a little bit of downforce. 34.5 is the lap time for Purple Haze to set provisional pole for Mercedes driver as Adrian goes through, and obviously he had a bit of a nice run actually through the first corner, taking a lot of aerodynamic, I've completely forgotten the word. Says a lot really about my brain, but nonetheless the Mercedes doing a cracking job. We're following Adrian now as the rest of the lap times are coming through. Heatproof Am getting there with a 36.0. Slicer needs to really improve on his 39 because he's not going to do well. And oof, Trigster beating his brother by only 3 thousandths of a second. Cracking lap times from the two brothers. Amazing stuff. Jimmy Low 24 commenting, stupid S-curves. Absolutely agree. I think the S-curves are obviously a significant issue for pretty much all of the SynergyPWR. A lot of these drivers. Looking at Adrian the 8th at the moment, obviously you may or may not notice his helmet is just a little bit different for this particular race. Naturally, USA, red, white and blue, decided to have a special helmet for the United States Grand Prix. Does look really well actually as you come through the sort of side cameras, to be fair. Hopefully we'll get a good view of it. That's going a little bit possibly wide through there. I'll have to see if he's abandoned it. But he is going to cross the line. Is he going to be able to better the teammate's pace? He would have done, but he did abandon the lap actually. Unfortunately ends up cutting a corner somewhere, but he does end up losing time and losing possible tyre wear on those Ultra Softs. In my experience, those Ultra Softs are quite bad on tyre wear. Interested to see what happened. Another person yet to set a lap time at the moment is Mini Carrot. He is bettering his Sector 1 lap time. I thought that was 4/10 of a second. I'll just double check that. That's the one, Mulan. It's Slipstream. I know. I completely forgot the word. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know why I'm here. I'm just sat in the commentary box. I've got a fan on me, and I've just got no idea what I'm doing. I'm just pressing buttons. But we have got Mini Carrot at the moment. And he's pressing more than buttons, he's pressing pedals and getting around there as fast as he possibly can. Got to set a good lap time. I'm pretty sure he'll want to get into the top 5. He's only been here 2 races, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be wanting to get as much time on everyone else as possible. Show some real dominance for the new era of SynergyPWR beginning on F1 2018. He will set a lap time of a 35.1. He gets into the top 3. Cracking job from Mini Carrot in the Williams. The person we're waiting on a lap for is turn 19, Adrian the 8th. Is he going to be able to set a proper lap time? We'll have to see. But he is coming through turn 20. Will he be able to top teammate's lap time of 34.5? He does. 34.0. Cracking lap time from Adrian the 8th. He's 5/10 of a lap faster than the teammate of Purple Haze, who I've got no doubt will want to get back out there and set a faster lap time. Special mention to Sphere Cookie, by the way, who was back in the pits after setting a 34.5 himself. Only 29 thousandths of a second slower than Purple Haze, so extremely competitive for the second spot on the front row. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but keep a firm eye out on the Red Bulls as well. Don't discount Owen Better Know. A lot of drivers saying, oh, this guy's Division 1 pace, you know, he's Division 1, he's definitely not down in this Division 2 at the moment. Well, he's showing some extreme competitiveness with the Division 2 field. So we'll have to see what happens over the next few races. He's currently deep into the 35s. He's going to want to get himself out there and into the 34s, which I'm sure he's quite competitively able to do so. I don't think there's any way in heaven Mini Carrot's going to continue this. I'm sure he should come into the pits, get a new set of ultras on. He's abandoned it, and into the pits he goes. So probably going to be seeing the rest of the field leaving it. But there is one person we're following at the moment. It is Heatproof Ham in the McLaren, currently down on his lap time, 35.6, but beating his teammate Mike David, leading the championship on a 35.9. He's really down on the lap times. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Into the pits. His teammate isn't though. He's on an outlap. So it's going to be interesting to see if Mike can improve on his 35.9 at the moment. I think this just shows really, doesn't it, the extreme competitiveness that's needed within SynergyPWR. I think even with sort of him being up front at the moment by 20 points, practice goes a long way. And if he's not been practicing that much at USA, you can see the significant difference between the drivers. Following Trickster at the moment on his fast lap at the moment, doing a cracking job through the S's. Thought he was losing a bit of traction, but he drops it into 5th gear. Pop it down into 4th as he comes through turn 9 into turn 10. This left kink, which is horrible in the wet, I've got to say. Before heading to turn 11, and then the main DRS straight for the Sauber runner. Like I said, his teammate not available today, unfortunately, getting a race ban. Not too sure if Trickster's lap has been abandoned doing that, but we'll have to see. Number 28, Sauber. Taking a good line actually through turn number 12. Heading through 13, where I had a bit of an incident with another driver in AOR at the United States Grand Prix on Sunday. Hopefully this steward will be able to come to an opinion as his back end really stepping out for Trickster. So obviously a lower downforce setup is prioritising qualifying, and at the moment it may not be working. He will have another run available to him. There is 25 seconds available. Question is, will there be another available run for Mike David? We'll have to see, but we are seeing now Trickster come across the line, doing a 1 minute 35.3. He's up to P6, cracking time from the Sauber. Still following Mike David at the moment, who will not be able to set another lap time. This is his one and only shot to try and get himself up there. But P9 is a real low spot for him with that rear end stepping out through 11. He's got to really set a good lap time here, otherwise he's going to be really struggling to get any kind of opportunity to get up to pole position. We are going to be following Purple Haze though at the moment. She is ahead and will be setting the first lap time first. Not a bad corner that. Coming through 15 into 16, then the right kink here of 17 and 18, and then coming through obviously to 19. She's obviously got to try and find 5/10. It's half a second, but will she be able to find it? 1:34.0 to beat. She's going to come across the line. Is she going to beat it? She does. It's a 33.8 from her. Cracking lap time. She takes pole position off Adrian the 8th, but will Sphere Cookie be able to do anything about it? But we are going to be following Mike David, who crosses the line P4 with a 34.9. He isn't into the front row, but he is on the second row. He could be beaten, though, by any of the people below. Trickster still on a fast lap himself. A Slicer can't improve. He finishes on a 36.2. Not a bad lap time actually for someone who just managed to get through to Q3. I think this may be the first time he got through to Q3 actually. I will double check that, but cracking lap time from him. Sphere Cookie will be the next to cross the line. Will he be able to improve on his lap time of a 34.2? Will he be able to snatch pole position? He crosses the lap. It's a 33.7 I think, and I think that might just be pole position for Sphere Cookie. Well taken from the Toro Rosso driver. We'll take a look at the standings. As you see there, it's a 33.7 on the starts. Cracking lap time from Sphere Cookie, taking pole position and snatching it right out of the hands of Purple Haze, who snatched it right out of the hands of her teammate, Adrian the 8th. Really close and really competitive, actually, lap times. Only a 10th separating both Sphere Cookie and Purple Haze, and only about 2/10 separating Purple Haze from Adrian. Cracking showing from Trickster, who managed to get P4 on his debut. McLaren of Mike David quite low, but beating the teammate of Heatproof Ham in P9, with the rest of the field doing relatively well to get through to Q3 and setting cracking lap times. 5 minutes until the race. Stay tuned. Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the SynergyPWR People's World Racing Invitational. We're here for round number 17 at the United States Grand Prix, and it's a wet United States Grand Prix as well. We're not expecting any of the racers to go out there and start the session. 21:21 is the official start time for this race, so if anyone readies up, they could be penalised. Hope you're all doing very well this evening here for the United States Grand Prix. Thank you to all our 15 viewers who are tuning in today for this fantastic session. Just keeping a firm eye obviously on the rest of the field at the moment. Obviously we have 12 drivers running with us today, a little bit lower than where we usually went to. However, nonetheless, it's going to be an impressive race all around the field. As you saw, if you were tuned in for the qualifying, you saw that it was extremely close, only a 10th actually separating the top two, with only 2/10 separating the second and third, 3/10 in total separating the top three. So I'm thinking it's going to be extremely competitive, and it all depends as well if they prioritise qualifying over the race, because as you see, with light rain conditions, qualifying could really be a bit of an issue. We are expecting light rain conditions throughout the whole of the race, so not expecting dry tyres to go on anytime soon, but nor are we expecting wet tyres to go on anytime soon either. So I've got a direct link with the drivers in case anything happens, so I'm pretty sure we should be okay. But let me know what you think your winner is going to be here at the SynergyPWR Invitational round number 17 at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Put my bets, without trying to commit to commentator's curse, on going to be Purple Haze. I know she didn't manage to get pole, but it was snatched right out of her hands last second by Sphere Cookie. But I think Purple Haze has a real opportunity to win this. She has said that she feels very weak in the rain around this track, but I think she'll prove her worth today, and I think she'll really get out there, and I think she'll do a cracking job. Bear in mind, actually, obviously, Mike David started in P5. He's going to be wanting to try and get up there and take as much time as possible, but I think it really does show practice goes a long way. He hasn't been practicing a lot this week, and I think especially in the rain he's going to be having a few problems. Adrian the 8th, again, I think he's going to be showing some real pace today, so keep an eye on him. And I expect some really good racing as well from the teammates, the brother of Heatproof Ham, ex-Trickster. I think he'll do a cracking job on his debut, especially in the wet around the United States. I think overall he'll be very happy with a great result, possibly getting into the top 5 and consolidating his P4. 2021, the lap time, the start time here, 2021 British summertime, which is in 2 minutes, in fact less than 2 minutes, 1 minute's time. So keep a firm eye. I'm sure we're going to have some fantastic racing all around the field. Woodscorp's commenting in. This is going to mix it up. I agree. No, I think, like I said, obviously people going on to prioritize. It depends whether they're prioritising the qualifying or prioritising the race. And if you're going to prioritise qualifying, you'd expect everyone to be sort of really rapid compared to those who are in the competitive sort of race pace. So, unless everyone just happens to be, sticking with qualifying or race, I think we're probably going to see a pretty close battle. That's for sure. Not too long to go now. We have 15 seconds until we begin this United States Grand Prix. Going to be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, we've got a formation lap coming up. as race control confirms. Ready up, ready up. Drivers now permitted to ready up. We're going to start to see ticks appear on the screen. And there we are, we have drivers now readying up on the grid. Just waiting on a couple of others to confirm their strategy. And then we're going to be getting on with this fantastic race at the United States. So yeah, feel free to let us know in the comments section. Feel free to leave the hashtag as well, hashtag PWR2USA. It'll be interesting to see what happens as the drivers are now heading out on their formation lap. Comment coming in from Hypernova within the Synergy Discord chat between all of the runners. Just wishing everyone in Division 2 the best of luck. Really hoping that the Sauber of X-Trickster will be able to maintain a cracking starting position in P4. I know he's obviously starting on wet tyres. I'm not too sure how much he's been practicing for the United States, but for sure it's going to be extremely competitive across the field. But like I said, let us know in the comment who your favourite is for the win and who you feel your driver of the day is going to be as well. I know we're kind of stealing this from Formula 1, but it seems to be something that a lot of the runners seem to like. So let us know when we get through the race who you think your driver of the day is going to be throughout this session. 15 runners, 15 viewers rather, tune in today. Really happy with the number of people obviously tuning in today. It's going to be extremely fun to watch, I'm pretty sure of that one. Sphere Cookie taking a no-frills approach to this formation lap, just getting along with it, getting it done. Don't expect obviously a lot of tyre warming on tyres that can easily reach to around 70 degrees in the wet or other intermediate conditions. Ooh, a little bit wide actually coming through there throughout the turn, but not too bad. Big shout out to Sphere Cookie, by the way, who's currently 5th in the championship with 55 points. A good win for him could take him very, very close to Becky Boo on 75 at the moment, depending obviously on her finishing position as well. So going to be extremely competitive all around the field. I think for sure we're going to be seeing some pretty close racing. I've got all my faith in these drivers. As we see, they're now starting to line up on the grid. Just waiting on the BWT Force India. Drivers now landing up on the grid. We're counting down the lights. It's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, it's 5 lights, it's 5 lights, and they are a go. The drivers say they are. First, Jamie getting a drive-through penalty for jumping the start. Unfortunate for him, but the rest of the field getting out there with a cracking start all around the field, actually. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. There's a little bit of an overtake potential opportunity, a bit of a tap there from the pole sitter as Sphere Cookie maintains his first position, but with wing damage, that's for sure. The Mercedes looking like they're going to get round the sandwich, and there is Purple Haze, who takes P1 off, and Adrian takes P2 off Sphere Cookie. It's clearly some damage happening for Sphere Cookie, meaning that he's going to be struggling for any kind of grip, especially in wet conditions, as Mike David has been reduced back down to 5th position after losing positions off the outside of the field. As a bit of an overtake, a bit of a tap there from Mini Carrot, and the Williams clearly getting some taps all around the field, but P6, a great start from Williams. Not so much of a great start, unfortunately, for Trickster, who loses on 3 positions at the moment in the Sauber. Unfortunate position for him, as Owen better know, and Sphere Cookie going on a bit of a battle themselves. Sphere Cookie maintaining P3 at the moment, as Ryan Wotton is, he's spun out there. You can clearly see in the gravel trap. The Ferrari right back down to P12. Unfortunate there for Ryan, as he's just crashed straight into the wall, and that's it. He's had enough. He's out of this race. Following Purple Haze, though, as she tries to consolidate P1. I'm pretty sure these two Mercedes are not going to be under team orders. They are going to battle each other on board with Adrian the 8th at the moment. Obviously a good opportunity here for Purple Haze, taking pole position, taking the first place now. 25 points will be a nice little chunk out of Mike David, who will get 8 at this rate. But definitely close numbers potentially happening across the board, so keep a firm eye out on the battle for P1, the two Mercedes. I mean, it's a sight that we're used to seeing nowadays. Currently, at the front, was Adrian losing that back end. Sphere Cookie has been a bit of a situation there. The pole sitter now currently down in P10. Looks like a bit of a spin maybe, but Slicer is in the pits. And you can see there on the front left-hand side, there is some wing damage as he makes a recording. So clearly some incident has happened. But the pole sitter, a shocking start for him. It's only been one lap. P1 down to P10. It's looking good for Purple Haze. That battle for P1 is still not over yet. You can see how close it's getting. I think by the looks of things it's going to be getting extremely close, if anything, with the Mercedes. No team orders between the two of them as Purple's gone really wide and maybe losing this position on Majin, and there he goes. Really poor turn number 11 for Purple Haze has meant she has lost that position, and Owen Better actually has managed to catch up on the two Mercedes, and it's actually a lot closer than I thought it would be. Unexpected time gap, and I think Mike David's going to be wanting to go on a bit of an overtake over Mini Carrot soon. P5 currently the position. With his intermediate conditions, clearly a struggle for some of these drivers at the moment. You can see how close it's really getting for the 3rd to 5th second runners. But keep a firm eye out on Owen Better is looking to try and overtake Purple Haze. Purple did actually talk about the struggle in the wet conditions that she had. Clearly a bit of an issue for the Synergy drivers in Division 2 as Owen is going really wide. You can see, not sure if it's dirty air, but clearly he's struggling at the moment. Clearly a tricky situation. It's an interesting battle, an interesting development. We're expecting probably only 2 stops to be happening on these intermediate tyres. As Adrian the 8th is setting fastest lap, as Owen Better has bettered that by at least a 10th of a second. So cracking lap from the Red Bull driver. So interesting to see what's happened across the field with Sphere Cookie deciding to pit. He's now down in P10. Chances are it will be a 3-stop for Sphere Cookie. And if he can take the Inters to the end, I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to take a look. Ooh, that back end really stepping out for Owen, but a cracking job. Race pace showing some real decent quality in Division 2 at the moment for Owen. I think this is where people start to think, is Owen really a Division 2 driver? Is he Division 1? With Division 2, 1 lap pace, we'll have to see, but at the moment, it's still the Mercedes up front, but the Red Bull is breathing down Purple Haze's neck. Purple Haze going a little bit wide there through turn number 12 as they head into 13. You can see the downforce really struggling at the moment for Purple Haze. I think obviously developing the qualifying dry setup put her in second place. She's still second at the moment, but with Owen Better gaining 3 positions from his provisional P6, he is doing a cracking job at putting Purple Haze under pressure. You can see that dirty air, really a significant problem for the Red Bull driver, and it's causing him to go a little bit wide, but you can see the pace the Red Bull has, especially around Sector 3. Purple Haze may have the problem of a Red Bull overtaking her very soon. Keep a firm eye on that one as you see the late braking there from Owen Better. He's a lot braver as Adrian the 8th sets fastest lap 53.4 rather, sorry, get my numbers right. You can see there potential dive bomber available for Owen, but decides not to, not in these conditions. Do not blame him one bit, the Red Bull driver getting down there. It's looking increasingly close, and another battle happening that's increasingly close as well is the battle for P4 between Mike David and Mini Carrot. Remember, Mike David not done that much practice. I've been practicing with Mini Carrot, showing some reasonable pace, but around these S's you can clearly see he's not brave enough on these intermediate tyres as Mike David gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings for that corner cut. He clearly is pushing as hard as he can to try and defend his lead in the championship, but at the moment it'll be chucked down by 12 points in total, which is a hefty amount of points, but you can clearly see there the pace of Mini Carrot. Oh, you can clearly see corner cut happening from Mike David, but Mini Carrot closing down the gap. It could potentially be a really good battle for P4. Remember, no DRS obviously in these wet conditions, so it's all about slipstream and a toe. I remember that, Moo, he told me that one. Mini Carrot defending the inside line. We'll have to see what happens. Will there be a bit of a dive for P number 4 as Mike David goes around the outside? Mini Carrot defending his line. They're doing a cracking job at it, actually. Really good defending from the Williams driver as Mini Carrot is going to be hogging the inside line, but Mike David going on the inside. Potentially more traction for the Williams as he goes around the outside, heading onto the inside line of... That's in there as Mike is going a little bit wider and spinning the car potentially if he can't get any grip on the outside, but he holds it and goes around the right hand side, and you can clearly see the lack of grip out there at the moment for both Mini Carrot and Mike David. The more they battle, the more it'll allow Trickster, who had a really poor start, back into the form as Becky Boo has managed to get around Heatproof Ham, who currently is ghosted at the moment, so clearly a bit of a situation for the other McLaren. But he's currently down in P8 as a ghosted car. Fingers crossed he'll be back into the race as soon as possible. We will go back to that battle for P4 though at the moment. As you can see there, obviously no DRS, but you can see the lack of downforce for Mike David is able to take as much time off Mini Carrot as possible. Taking the inside line there a little bit, saving more time as Mini Carrot going a little bit wide there through the 3. See, obviously on board there at the moment, beautiful on board shot there with the amazing helmet actually of Mike David. We'll give him credit. Hogging onto the right hand side there and the left hand side. As you see there, perfect opportunity for overtaking maybe for Mike David as it comes onto the DRS straight. You'll have to see, will he get traction? I think Mini Carrot just had the better exit. We'll have to see what happens. Here comes to 11. I think, well, it's not going to be much that, is it? About 3 or 4 tenths, maybe? We are going to be seen there. Will Mini Carrot try and defend the line on the inside again? We'll have to see. No DRS, like I said. Decided to stick onto the racing line this time. They're trying to hog the middle of the road as possible, Mini Carrot is. And Mike David, no chance of an overtake for him just yet. Mini Carrot, sneaking suspicion that may just be a bit too slow for Mike. He's going to have to get round him. Some really clever defending from Mini Carrot actually. Got to give him credit where credit's due. He's been here 2 races and is showing some real good defensive manoeuvres from Williams. Cracking job. Vic went a little bit wide for that turn there. Good evening to our 18 viewers all tuned in to SynergyPWR People's World Racing today. We're following this Division 2 race. As you see there, a couple of good battles happening at the moment. Another battle brewing quite well. Adrian the 8th storming ahead of the Mercedes. 5 seconds the gap. Purple Haze keeping Owen back. But at the moment, 132.4 is the fastest lap set by Adrian. And Purple Haze keeping Owen at bay. 3/10 the difference. Will Owen go for a bit of an overtake? He decides not to. Not in these conditions, he says. Mike David, also no overtake happening here for P4. So clearly, driver's not too brave at the moment. Clearly, grip is not the best thing in the world. Heatproof Ham back in the session. Unfortunately, looks like a bit of a internet disconnection issue, but he is back in the sessions. Mike David going really wide through those set of S's. Mini Carrot rather, managing to pull ahead as Sphere Cookie on the fresher intermediate, setting the fastest lap of the race. Heatproof Ham out of the session again. Clearly some issues with connecting to the session. Hopefully he's going to be able to get back as soon as he possibly can. But currently, you can see there, Mike David is losing ground on Mini Carrot, and Trickster is able to gain ground on Mike David if he keeps making these little mistakes. So let's continue with this battle at the moment with Owen Betano and Purple Haze, P2, P3 respectively. It's going to be interesting stuff at the moment. We've got 22 laps left of this 50% race as Diverse Jamie's managed to get around the ghost of Heatproof Hammers is reconnected into the session again. Clearly it's dire for the other McLaren driver at the moment, currently only taking 2 points as Trickster gets a 5-second stop-go penalty for exceeding the track limits. It must have been a significant corner cut, but clearly that's a really unfortunate situation for the Sauber driver, who is showing some real form at the moment and has unfortunately lost a lot of ground on Mike David as he's gained ground back on Mini Carrot again. So yellow's waved in sector 3 at the moment. We'll have to find out what that one is for. The yellow flags have all gone now, so we'll have to see what happens. Another back again. So fingers crossed we'll be able to see what that is for. Yeah, not too sure what the yellow flags are there for, but obviously it's going to be a real issue if drivers can't overtake. But knowing better now, deciding not to go for the overtake, but there is a possible overtake happening for Mike David. Is he going to come up on the inside line of turn number 1? Is potentially the Williams going to be able to have the inside line of turn number 2? Will he be able to defend it? We'll have to see, but no, Mike David takes P4 off Mini Carrot. But Mike David has been prone to a few mistakes these last couple of times, so we'll have to see if Mike ends up making that mistake and gives Mini Carrot back the position. And see there's the mistake. Is he going to be able to sneak up on the inside? He should be able to. Oh, we see there, not enough space and corner cutting Mike David to try and keep the position. Not too sure if the stewards are going to take a look at that, but that was a bit tricky. And Mini Carrot can clearly see it all over the gearbox of Mike David. Mike David manages to take P4, but will he keep it? Lap number 7 of 28 at the moment here at the SynergyPWR People's World Racing Invitational, round number 17 at the Circuit of the Americas in Texas. More specifically Austin, great little city actually. Been looking forward to going there at some point in the not too distant future. There's potentially a bit of a dive up on the inside for Owen Better No on Purple Haze as they come through the infamous corner where if you spin you get disqualified. So hopefully that'll be fixed for the new game, which comes out in about 3 weeks time. But Owen Better No. There's still no overtake and potentially some front wing damage there actually for the Red Bull. They're still side by side through the selection of corners. Hopefully that is definitely not front wing damage, but Better No may have just lost some front wing damage from that potential overtake on Purple Haze. It's hopefully not a significant issue, and hopefully it'll be easily fixed when we come through to the next selection. But you can see there Mike David in the background and Mini Carrot still battling for P4. So may not be just a clear-cut opportunity for Mike David to get up there. We see the internet connection issue for Mike David. So it might be have to put him under investigation if this internet connection is still a significant issue, and I think it might have to, you know. I have to keep a firm eye on that one. Ooh, you can clearly see a significant internet issue for Mike David at the moment. Surely there's going to be some action from race control. We'll have to keep a firm eye on that one, but we will continue the battle at the moment for P number 2. As Owen Better No has now confirmed front wing damage for the Red Bull driver, meaning that there's going to be a significant issue. As you see there, Heatproof Ham reconnecting to the session and battling with Sphere Cookie, who had to repit after getting some definite issue there throughout the first section of the race. With 20 laps to go, and I think Heatproof Ham is going to give up on that battle, and for sure it's Sphere Cookie's. As we have it confirmed right there, Mike David. Clip number 42, car number 42 rather, Mike David under investigation, poor internet connection. So hopefully that will be resolved as quick as possible, and then he'll be back on the straight and narrow and battling with Owen Better No. And as I confirmed, he has front wing damage. Mike David might be able to get up there. It's possibly the worst case scenario for Purple Haze, for Owen Better No to take more points. Or rather, Mike David to take more points. It's going to be interesting to see as they come through turn number 19 and 20. You can see there that internet connection issue from Mike David needs to be resolved as quick as possible, otherwise he may end up being black flagged, and if he's black flagged, it's 0 points, nil point. Better now at the moment. You can see, you can see that internet connection issue for Mike David. You see him just like trying to go for dive bombs and suddenly just lags backwards. No idea what's happening. It'd be a real shame because Mike David started down in P5 at the moment, and he'll be getting P4 at this rate. Still a battle worth watching at the moment. Like I said, Owen Better No with wing damage at the moment. He'll be wanting to take that to lap 14 before he can get a wing replacement. But you can clearly see there, even with the wing damage and cleaner air, he is catching up at the moment with Purple Haze. So keep a firm eye out on the records. It's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of laps. But there we are, you see an overtake coming in, and I think Owen Better Know has just decided, nope, it's yours. Because with that in fact, no, it may not be, you know, because he's still on it, and no, that's Mike David's third place, that's for sure. I think Owen decided, nah, I've got wing damage, let you through. Not going to happen. Just lap 9 of Mike David up to P3. Comment coming in from ZG Swift, Team Mercedes at Division 1, saying go on Adrian. Adrian pulling a 10-second gap on the team leader. That is Purple Haze at the moment. Going to be amazing 25 points for Adrian, that's for sure. Means at this rate he will take P2 straight off Purple Haze. So keep a firm eye on that battle. Four laps to go until the beginning, we think, of the lap, well, the optimal pit window. Probably a couple of laps until the pit window opens. We'll have to see what happens for the majority of the drivers, but it's safe to say, unless any drastic mistakes happen, this might just be Adrian's victory. The battles are not happening around for P1, it's happening for P3, P4, and I think, with regard to the table, it's really important, this, because Purple Haze will be taking another selection points out of Mike David, and Adrian the 8th will be taking points out of Mike David as well, and Mike David may just be losing a battle to win this championship at the very last minute. We have many, many, many races to go, and by many, many races, what I mean is 3. Mexico, Brazil and Abu Dhabi after this one, so the battle's still heating up for the chance for the title. Amazing stuff, actually. We're going to keep a firm eye on the rest of the battle. Another battle, obviously, keep an eye out on is the recovery driver, the Sphere Cookie, who probably will be now on a 3-stop, which will be, sorry, it's rather a 2-stop, which would be a real shame, actually, for the Toro Rosso runner. But the Toro Rosso runner obviously looking to maintain some real performances, because he will definitely be a force to reckon with in Division 2 next year. Obviously tune in next year to SynergyPWR People's World Racing, where we're going to have the fantastic selection of drivers in Division 1 and Division 2 on F1 2018. It's going to be fantastic to watch. Definitely going to be interesting to watch over the next couple of laps. Not say times for, but we'll get there in the end. You can see there, Sphere Cookie on the rear end of Diverse Jamie. Potential overtake opportunity happening. Slicer 500 getting a 3-second tap penalty from multiple warnings. They're currently at the back of the grid at the moment. Back to that battle for P2 at the moment. As you can see there, Purple Haze currently losing a little bit of time at the moment on the McLaren. Now the question is, obviously we're coming up to the pit window now, what would you do? Would you pit in a little bit earlier? Would you try and undercut Purple Haze, or would you try and go a little bit further out and try and overcut? Is your tyres in better condition? It'll be interesting to see what happens. Let us know what you think. Drop it in the comments. Leave the hashtag PWR2USA. It's going to be an interesting race to follow. I think possibly it will be both lap 14, the optimal time for the best tyres, but Mike David could undercut. The person that could undercut as well actually would be Owen Better Know, currently losing much time at the moment on P4, with Mini Carrot currently trying to battle him. You can see there obviously on Owen Better Know, you can see there's a bit of front wing damage on the left hand side, a few end plates missing, so come into the pits, get that front wing change, get a fresh set of intermediates on, set some fastest laps. You could just beat Mike David, potentially Purple Haze out of the pits. That's what I'd do if I was Owen, but we'll have to see what happens. Battle for P2 hotting up though, that's for sure, in these rainy conditions. There's no doubt. There he goes, Owen Better Know, as I thought he would, into the pits. New intermediates, new wing. Could be an opportunity to undercut Mike David. The question is, will Mike David try and react with that and go in 13, which may end up forcing Purple Haze one lap later. So Purple Haze may end up making some big mistakes here, so for sure they both have got to keep a firm eye on Owen Bettano, who's going to be showing some extreme pace now on those brand new intermediate tyres, to keep a firm eye on that battle. For now though, we'll keep on the concentration of the battle for P number 2 at the moment with Purple Haze and Mike David. Like I said, at the moment both of them have not pitted yet, so they've still got to go on to another set of intermediate tyres to the end of this race. We'll have to see what happens. Fairly confident you can't go to the end of this race on one set of intermediates and do a no stop. Good evening to our 20 viewers. Hope you're doing fantastic. Thank you for tuning in on Tuesday nights. We're surprised actually on the viewer numbers in SynergyPWR with the fact that we run on weeknights and we have so many viewers tune in, so we're honestly flattered that you choose to spend your night with us. If you do fancy watching a bit more racing here at Synergy, you can always tune in tomorrow with good old Woodscorp and Adrian the 8th, who will be on the Division 1 commentary box, where you'll probably see me crash into Mulan in Q3. This battle here, going to be interesting to see how they're going to react though, with obviously the pit of Owen Bettano, and they've both decided to stay out, which might just be the good call for Owen Bettano. He has got a bit more seconds to find, obviously, with the front wing damage. Clearly Mike David getting the better exit out of that final turn, turn number 20. Will they potentially be a battle? Mike David going a little bit wide, maybe a bit too late on the brakes, but Mike David takes P2 off Purple Haze, so Mike David now takes that. Question is, will they both be undercut over Owen Bettano? Clearly Mike David struggling through the S's and nearly some front wing damage for Purple Haze, but she manages to keep it only bloody just. Really close. Keep a firm eye obviously on Owen Bettano, who probably will be setting purple lap times on those fresh tyres. Divers Jeremy also into the pits now, doing his pit stop for a new set of intermediate tyres, looking to undercut the rest of the field, including Heatproof Ham, who obviously had that internet connection issue, which meant he ended up losing time and losing places. So really unfortunate for the other McLaren driver. But the other McLaren driver having an absolute stormer of a race at the moment. He's currently up 3 positions from P5 to P2, but they're yet to still go on to a fresh set of intermediates. And if I was Purple Haze, I would certainly consider it. In Sector 1 and Sector 2. We'd like to find out what the reason is for that, but currently we are down because Divers Jamie has decided to retire after losing his front wing. He is out, so please be aware, all drivers, they may be debris around the first sector. Hopefully that will not lead to thing, and I think Purple has may have just made a mistake staying on those intermediates, because I think she could have potentially undercut Mike David, and I think maybe right now she may just lose out on P2. Owen Bettano is looking really sharp on those new intermediate tyres. He pitted in 2 laps ago and he's showing some real pace, and you never know now. He's currently battling the moment with P6 Sphere Cookie, the pole sitter, currently down in P6 and possibly will be taking P5 after overtaking Mini Carrot, currently coming out of the pits at the moment. We'll have to see. No, there goes Mini Carrot. It could potentially be 3 wide going through turn 1. Keep a firm eye on this. No, Mini Carrot beating Sphere Cookie and Owen Bettano out of the pits. That's not very good for Owen, who's really looking to try and get positions back on all of the drivers. Keep a firm eye out though, obviously, on the fact of the pits at the moment. Sphere Cookie's already pitted, but pitted a significant number of laps ago, so technically is on a significantly older set of intermediate tyres, so grip could be low. Going to be interesting to see what happens though, as the ex-Trigster has had a few internet connection issues and he's currently rejoining the session. Real shame, because he was showing some real pace at the moment. So he's coming back into the session. Hopefully he'll be back very soon. Keep a firm eye on the battle for P5 though. At the moment you can clearly see definitely some tail wiggle there from the Red Bull of Owen Bettano, and that's not the camera angle we want, Codemasters. Come on. And Obviously no DRS as we come on to lap 14, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. We'll go back to that battle in just a second. I just want to see what Mike and Purple decide to do. I'm pretty sure they should come into the pits this lap, because they are on P14, lap 14 rather. So I'm expecting there to be pits now. And no surprise there, they're both into the pits, but I think Purple may have made a mistake and should have come in a lap earlier, because I have my sneaking suspicion she could have been able to get out of the pits. We'll have to see the battle of the pit stops though. There's Mercedes right at the front. And you never know, with those fresh sets of intermediates on, she might be able to stop the McLaren coming out of the pits. We'll have to see. But she's in the pits. Will she stop the McLaren? No. There's the battle, so the battle will go to the end between these two drivers. We'll have to see. But Mike David will extend his lead over Purple Haze, but not on Adrian the 8th, who will be second place at this rate. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but unfortunate situation for Owen Bettano, who after being stuck in all that traffic and front wing damage, is now down in P6s. Oh, he's going to be going over on Sviakoki, but braking a little bit later. I think he could have possibly broken a little bit later, rather than brake as early as that. And clearly doesn't want to risk these current wet conditions. Really unfortunate, because I think there could have been some really good battling there. As Purple Haze has left the session, unfortunate situation for the Mercedes driver. She is disconnected. That's really unfortunate, because she was looking really promising, and she may end up losing some big number of points. Oh, she could be able to reconnect as quick as possible, because Mini Carrot is hot on the Ghost tail, and she could be down as far as P7 at this rate. If Becky Boo gets her act on, she could end up losing so many positions. Here we go. Obviously the Mercedes getting out of the way. Purple Haze now down as far as P6 after disconnecting. That will give Mike David big smiles behind that helmet. It's going to be obviously a very tricky situation. It's for the Mercedes to get back up and away. One thing's for sure, Mini Carrot will be extremely happy with that, because now, if he can try and keep back the significantly older intermediate tyres of Sviakoke and the significantly newer intermediate tyres of Owen Bettano, I have my sneaking suspicion that Mini Carrot might be on for a bit of a podium here, you know. It'll be fantastic for his second race here, but he's looking for a bit of an overtake. Sviakoke on the outside of turn number 2. 5-4 heading through 3, 4, 5, and you can clearly see the driver's not interested at all in any kind of overtake through the set of S's. No surprise there, of course. Some amazing stuff there as they obviously come through here to P number 3. Sviakoke is really looking to try and capitalise as much as he can on P1, his P1 start. He may take those intermediates to the end. He may do. I don't know what his tyre percentages are like at the moment. It's a real shameful situation for Purple Haze at the moment. Currently 7 seconds down on P5. Becky will capitalise really well on this as well. Like I said, possibly 5 seconds and cutting through. Really unfortunate actually, because for Purple Haze, and not just for Purple Haze but also for Sviakoke, because if Purple Haze was able to reconnect in time and beat Becky Boo off the overtake, Sviakoke might take more points off Becky Boo for P number 4 in the Division 2 Championship. So definitely an interesting battle there, that's for sure. Lap number 17. Of course, interesting sort of incident that's happening at the moment. Oh, lovely over. I love these shots straight from the helicopter. It's a beautiful shot, isn't it? As we're watching the Ferrari of Becky Boo, currently in P7, looking to overtake the Ghost of Purple Haze, as X-Trickster has managed to reconnect to the session. Hopefully he's going to be able to get back in his car. As you see there, the Ferrari gliding straight through the Mercedes to make a Mirari blend, we'll say. And there she goes into P6. Keeping a firm eye at the battle for P4 at the moment. SynergyPWR's tyres clearly starting to struggle a little bit, you know. As, a little bit wide, Invitational goes. Clearly going to be a bit on the tricky side at the moment. I think this can sort it out as quick as possible as we're following behind now. SynergyPWR and Invitational's battle for P number 4, and the Mini Carrot now able to pull a bit of a gap on the Toro Rosso. Bit of a dive potentially for Invitational on SynergyPWR, but not to avail at this moment in time. Clearly some good battling happening actually between the sister teams at the moment, as Mike David gets another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So he's up to 6 if I remember correctly. And currently the gap is 7 seconds with Mini Carrot. And although Mike David's now got fastest lap of a 51.1, if he keeps maintaining these penalties by cutting corners, he may end up struggling to keep P2 off Mini Carrot with these penalties. And look how close it is between P3 and P5. It's only a second separating all 3 of them. So as wide goes SynergyPWR, and Invitational takes P4 straight off of SynergyPWR, but they're still battling, and SynergyPWR managed to find the grip out of nowhere and keeps P4. That's amazing stuff that from SynergyPWR to maintain P4 after that, as Owen going really wide and struggling to get the grip on those newer intermediate tyres. Clearly there is some struggling for any kind of grip around this track. Cuts the corner there, and there it is, a 3-second time penalty is the only way he's able to get any kind of traction off the corner. Not meant to do it though, Owen. At number 18, 10 laps to go. Interesting battle for P3. Adrian the 8th getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, you see there. Invitational still behind SynergyPWR, but Mini Carrot losing time at the moment on Mike David, which means essentially an opportunity for Mike David to be able to speed away, just limit the number of penalties he gets. The difference between 2nd and 5th is only 9 seconds. Put penalties into the equation, Mike could end up losing positions. Purple Haze is now back online on Xbox, so fingers crossed should be able to reconnect into the session, get back in a Mercedes and try and save or salvage some kind of points, as Heatproof Ham is getting closer and closer to taking P7 from the Mercedes. SynergyPWR at the moment doing a cracking job in P number 4. We'll keep a firm eye on the battle for sure for P3, as Invitational is getting closer and closer to the sister car at Toro Rosso. Remember, SynergyPWR been on those tyres since around lap number 4, I think it was. So he has been on these tyres an extortionate amount of time now. In fact, they should be getting to around about their wear pace. So if anything, we're going to only see Invitational get quicker and quicker and manage to overtake SynergyPWR. SynergyPWR has got to last another 9 laps on those intermediates if he wants to take P4. If he doesn't, he'll probably drop as low as P7, depending on whether Purple Haze managed to reconnect to the session. As you see there, Heatproof Ham has reconnected back into the session. Unfortunate stuff. Its next person will be Slicer in the next couple of turns. Haven't been on him for a while though. It's Adrian the 8th, 19 laps, and he is in the lead and got an extortionate lead actually of about 16 seconds and gaining as he loses the rear end. No way! Oh, he's going to keep it out of there. Oh, that is really close. Adrian, he's going to have a hefty amount of wing damage as well. We'll go on to board with him. See there, the front left wing damage there, nearly losing P1 and possibly would have been a retirement, and that would have been heaven for Mike David, who will be able to take even more points towards his lead in the championship. But 12 seconds is the difference now, and Adrian has got wing damage. It's going to heat up. 8 laps to go. Back for this battle for P4 at the moment, you see. Looking for maybe a bit of a dive on the outside potentially. Hook on the inside for Owen Bettano, and still can't get past Sphere Cookie, the gap. Maintaining that same difference at the moment, and I think obviously all down to the dirty air as well as the wet conditions don't make it easy for overtaking around this track. But Owen Bettano at the moment, bit of understeer coming through the selection of S's before hooking in left and then hooking into this nice right turn, one of my favourite corners on the track. Down in 4th gear, down in 3rd in the wet, and then managed to floor it down to a hairpin of 11. I'm going to be interested to know, guys, people who are tuned in watching SynergyPWR People's World Racing Invitational round number 17 here at Austria, America. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm interested in what you think your top 5 is going to be. I think it's safe to say it's probably going to be Adrian Mike, unless Adrian makes another mistake. Who do you think is going to finish P3 through 5? Let me know in the comments. Leave hashtag PWR2 USA. I'm going to be interested to know what your opinion is. But Sphere Cookie, like I said, being on those tyres, they are far from their best now. Is he going to be able to take these to the end? As Owen going for a little bit of a dive up on the inside, maybe a bit of touch. No, nothing. Sphere Cookie still manages to keep P4 from Owen. I don't know how he's doing it, but it's fantastic defending from the Toro Rosso and a great recovery drive after the collision that happened earlier on in the race. Keep a firm eye on that battle. Keep another firm eye on the battle actually for P number 9, as still Purple Haze has not reconnected to the session. We need her back soon. Real shame, because this race might just be a detrimental effect to her race. And you see there Adrian lapping the ghost car of Trigster and doing a cracking job at the moment. Actually, it's a 10-second gap at the moment with 7 laps to go, and with the amount of time that currently Mike is gaining, he might just be able to snatch P1 off Adrian, dependent as well obviously on penalties. I'm pretty sure Adrian's got 3 seconds, Mike has got 6, so keep a firm eye out. The next couple of laps are going to be interesting for P1. Still interesting for P4 at the moment, as Owen has gone wide through the set of S's. You can clearly see there, we'll go through the aerial shot, beautiful shot there, through the S's. The Red Bull clearly not able to get close enough for an overtake on Sphere Cookie at P4. Keep a firm eye on that one. Zwips saying the comment, yo. Unfortunately not talking jargon here as he goes up onto the overtake, but I feel he may have just cut the corner in doing so. Owen manages to overtake Sphere Cookie, but I fear may have exceeded track limits in the overtake. I'm not sure if he's going to give the position back, but I'm pretty sure Race Control is going to have a look at it. If so, I think possibly Owen may be letting him through again. We'll have to see. No, he's not. He's defending. He's defending. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but if we don't give this position back, he may just end up getting a time penalty. Which would be a real shame, and no, he keeps P4. Bit of a under and over coming from the Toro Rosso. Bit of a tap on the rear end. Hopefully not too much damage for Sphere Cookie. Remember, these tyres are extortionately worn. So, a bit of an unfortunate situation there, but Owen Bettano may be receiving a time penalty. Which would be a shame. As he comes into the pits, no surprise. And that is it. Owen Bettano takes P4 Sphere Cookie into the pits until the end of the race, and looking for just a fastest lap. He'll be coming out behind Becky Boo, who will be in P5, and it'll be another 10 points for her. Cracking job from the Ferrari if Sphere Cookie can't catch her. Confirmation, Race Control confirming car 95, Owen Bettano, Red Bull under investigation, exceeding track limits and gaining an advantage. Bit of a shame that, because obviously regardless of whether Sphere Cookie was coming to the pits or not, he did lose time, and time that may cost him P5 from Becky Boo. As you can see, he's just taking turn 11 right now. With 6 laps to go, will Becky Boo be able to keep P4? P5 rather. And another question as well is whether Adrian is going to be able to keep P1, because Mike at the moment is gaining time, but now has started to stall a little bit. As Mike decided to just call it quits and not devote any more time to pushing his tyres to the limit and try and take P1. We're not sure. Either way, one thing I do know is that both of these drivers are not in the same party. There's no communication, which means Mike may not know Adrian's got front wing damage. Because for sure, Adrian's got some hefty front wing damage that may not be too bad in the sort of dry conditions, but in the wet, it's hefty amounts of understeer that could really, really lose your time. But at the moment, the Mercedes still maintaining a 10-second gap. Who is a 10 seconds in front of Mini Carrot? Mike David is, so he's managing to take out a good chunk of time, actually. But big shout out to Mini Carrot, who's about to lap Trickster. Amazing stuff from the Williams driver at the moment, taking P3. Then only his second race of the season. I've got to add as well, this driver is not of a teenage age yet, and he's just showing some real pace. I think, tell you what, if he continues this esports career and continues going on and makes this not necessarily professional, but goes out there to really, really get out there with some racing, this guy is a future. This kid is a real future. I've got to give him credit. Currently P3, 23 out of 28, with 2 and a bit seconds left on Owen Bettino, who may end up getting a time penalty for exceeding track limits and gaining an advantage. So, going to be a shame if he does, but Mini Carrot is looking for his first podium of the season. Only been in 2 races as well, so amazing stuff. The person to keep an eye out on, obviously, Sphere Cookie at the moment, who obviously is looking to try and take as many points as he possibly can after the incident earlier on in the session. Just comments coming in actually at the moment for the drivers. Currently DNF'd out the session, that is Purple Haze and Trickster after disconnection problems. Unfortunately, the session is not allowing them to rejoin. They can rejoin the lobby, but they can't ready up. So we've got comments coming in from ITFNI Mulan, the Mercedes driver in Division 1, and Trickster coming in on his debut. Connection issues means they can't ready up. So clearly some kind of issues at the moment. Codemasters, the game getting more and more buggy as time goes on, but we are down to the 8 drivers as Sphere Cookie, no surprise, fastest lap 150.2. Gap is only 1.7 seconds separating him and Becky Boo. Becky Boo looking for her another selection of back-to-back double points finishes, as in 2 digits rather. Currently at the moment, Becky Boo finishing with 10 points in Italy, 12 points in Singapore, 10 points in Russia, didn't race in Japan. So take out the Japan situation, obviously not being able to race, it's back-to-back double points finishes as Sphere Cookie has a 3-second time penalty on multiple warnings. That won't help his case to try and get Becky Boo, as they are now coming over to lap Trickster in the Sauber. Interested in your thoughts, guys. Reckon Sphere Cookie's going to be able to get around Becky Boo? Leave it in the comments, let me know what you think. Lap 24 of 28, we're only 4 laps away from the checkered flag being waved. Just had to come back to the microphone to see Sphere Cookie has managed to get around Becky Boo, so cracking overtake, just managed to catch it on the replay, doing a cracking job, and Sphere Cookie is up into the top 5. Not a bad job actually from the Toro Rosso to be able to get back up to P5 after having to do a 2-stop compared to the rest of the field apart from Slicer, all doing a 1-stop after the chaos that caused him to go down as far as P10 after starting in pole position. I'm fairly confident Sphere Cookie won't be too mad with a P5 finish. Coming to the end of this race, we're coming back to Adrian the 8th, who's currently on number 4 Mercedes drive, obviously looking to take a good selection of points with him to the next race. We're going to do some maths, hopefully we'll get to know where he'll place, but we'll know that he will be above Purple Haze, who will DNF out this session after the connection issues, meaning that she will be out. At the moment, Mike David's finish will leave him with 18 points, naturally, second place. It does mean that in the championship, Mike David will have 164 points, meanwhile Adrian the 8th will have 148. So, 20 points was the difference when they go into the race. The difference will be that Adrian the 8th will take second place off Purple Haze, and the difference in points will be a maximum, of course, of 16. Not much in it. One DNF could switch it either way. I think for sure keep a firm eye on the battle as we start up number 26 of 28. Going to be interesting to see what happens. 10 seconds still the difference. Adrian the 8th still with that front wing damage after making that catastrophic mistake through selection of turns. I want to keep a firm eye out as well on Mike David, actually, because the last couple of races he's had a bit of an issue throughout the last selection of drives where unfortunately he DNF'd out of the race at Japan, and that was a last minute incursion which saw him crash on the very final corner. He also did that in Italy, where he crashed out on the very final corner of the very final lap, and we're now coming into that period where we start to see potentially Mike David making that mistake. He won't want to make that mistake again. He'll want to take a podium because I think it'll do his confidence a world of good. And it'll be interesting to see sort of how that develops over time. Another battle potentially happening for P3 though. Going better now at the moment. Less than a tenth of a second. Less than a second, we'll say, behind Minicara, and would have DRS, but still in rainy conditions, which means DRS is disabled. The wheel at the moment begging for him to come into the pits, but he doesn't do so. He can go to the end quite easily. It'll be interesting to see if that race ends up developing any further. It's with 1 and a bit laps to go. They're going to want to see if P3 ends up getting taken at last minute by the Red Bull, or going better now. So fingers crossed we'll be able to get back into it. It'll be interesting to see the battle coming up for P number 3 with Mini Carrot at the moment. Clearly the dominant car out there, the Williams, taking a significant gap of less than a second, but able to keep charge, and hopefully penalties won't decide this, because Mini Carrot will be very, very happy with his first podium in just 2 races. As you can see, Edge in the 8th struggling for any kind of grip at the moment. It's clearly a situation that's leading to him worrying. You can clearly see he's taking his time on the very final lap. No mistakes needed. Is Mike David doing the same? Oh, he's definitely struggling for any kind of grip. I don't think he wants to push either. I think he'll be very happy to consolidate P2 after starting P5, that's for sure. Did call it though. I think Adrian is definitely going to be up there as one of the favourites to win it. He is on his final lap. Hopefully no commentators, sorry Adrian if that is the case, but he is turning 11 now. And no surprise, short shifting. And just trying to keep as much grip as possible throughout these final selection of corners, as Owen Bettano is losing more and more time on Mini Carrot. Mini Carrot's looking for his first podium of the session. He's going to be extremely happy if he does it, but we are following the number 4 Mercedes, who's taking the next sector very, very carefully. You can see lap number 28, he's coming around these selection of corners that have been notoriously tricky actually in these wet conditions as they come through to sector 3. The right-handers of 16, 17, 18, the left-hander of 19, and the final left-hander of 20. Annual race winner for the United States Grand Prix will be Adrian the 8th for Team Mercedes. Cracking race from him all around. We've got the McLaren of Mike David coming through, and he consolidates P2 with an 8-second gap overall. I think he'll be very happy with that one. But this guy right here, my driver of the day, I feel, it's Mini Carrot. He finishes in a fantastic P3. Cracking job. Will Owen Bettano be able to take it off him? He doesn't. It's Owen Bettano's P4. It's Sphere Cookie's P5. Mini Carrot finishes on the podium. Cracking job. As Sphere Cookie gets fastest lap, I think it's a consolidation for his unfortunate situation. I think a great recovery drive from Sphere Cookie overall. And a great result as well for Becky Boo. Another points finish for her, leaves her with 8. That's a great result. Unfortunately though, it does mean that she will lose points on P5, who is slowly creeping up on her. Only 2 points though, but the other McLaren of Heatproof Ham is going to be the next person to finish this race, finishing in P7. Not a bad result for Heatproof Ham, who finishes above his brother, but behind his teammate. And Slicer will be the final car to finish. Unfortunate for Purple Hazes and Trickster, who had problems with the connection, but regardless, let's go to the podium. He takes the top step. It's Adrian the 8th who takes first place. And overall great performance with a special helmet and changing his flag to the United States. It's Mercedes on the top step of the podium. Big shout out obviously to the rest of the drivers, including P3. Amazing result for Mini Carrot. Started where he started and managed to finish in a fantastic P3. He'll be very happy with that one. His first podium in just 2 races at SynergyPWR. Great result all around. We'll take a look obviously at the final results. You can clearly see right there, Mini Carrot also finishing P2 without a single penalty. Fantastic result from him and Team Williams. Owen Bettano will be very happy with P4 after starting P6, and Sphere Cookie will be disappointed with P5, but I think a great recovery drive nonetheless. Becky will be very happy with P6 starting P8. Heatproof Ham started P9, he finishes P7, and Slicer started P10, he finishes P8. Unfortunate situation left Trickster and Purple Haze with DNFs due to internet connection issues, and Sergio Perez and Kimi Raikkonen's car obviously taking the brute force of the back. But fantastic result from Adrian the 8th, who extends at the moment. The gap between Mike David is shortened. And that's it for everyone here at SynergyPWR People Racing. Thank you very much for you tuning in today. We are going to say a fantastic race coming through in Division 1. Tune in tomorrow, 7:45, 8:30. You're going to see Woodscorp and Adrian the 8th, who are going to be in the communications box for the USA Grand Prix in Division 1. Tune in tomorrow and we'll see you then. Bye bye for now.